Welcome back into our story in brief. It was victory in court yesterday for two governors elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party as they secured favorable judgments from the Election Petitions Tribunal. Governor Samuel Otom of Benue and Bala Mohammed of Bauchi States had their elections upheld after the tribunals threw out petitions filed by their opponents from the All Progressives Congress for lacking in merit. And the politics and governance of Abia State in Nigeria's southeast region has come under intense scrutiny. And this time, the governor, Okezie Ikpeazu, and his performance has been adjudged by his opponent, Mr. Alex Oti, as very poor. Now, Mr. Oti, at a press conference in Lagos, says the governance situation in Abia is very discomforting, stressing that there hasn't been any significant major project executed by the Ikpeazu-led government since assumption of duty. He adds that infrastructure is deteriorating and workers are also owed several months of wages. Mr. Oti, who was the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, in the last election, is calling on all citizens of Abia State to speak up and help salvage the situation in the state.
Academic and health institutions are daily in the news because of one government-induced crisis or another. And as I address you here today, Abia State Polytechnic has been shut down by angry NLC leadership because dozens of their staff were sacked by the government while being owed 13-month salary arrears. There are no good things that he has done. I'm looking for them. I've been seriously looking for good things, and if I saw them, I would have tabled them. Unfortunately, I can't see any. All what you see are propaganda. There is Abia rice today, and you know there's none. So the solution would have to start with getting the man to sit back and develop passion. I hope he can, and also be compassionate. He doesn't care.
Well, the government in Abia State has been contacted on the comment of Mr. Oti, but no response on some of the issues yet from the government. Workers' unions in Nigeria say they are running out of patience with the government over what they describe as delay in the implementation of the 30,000 naira minimum wage. Last week, the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress issued a joint statement asking the federal and state governments to implement the new minimum wage by mid-October or risk a mass strike. This demand again forms the core of several requests which the workers are seeking government's immediate attention to as they marked the 2019 More Decent Work Day in Abuja yesterday. Good morning. The Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress, Mr. Musa Lawal, joins us from Abuja studio. We'd like to thank you for joining us. No decent work without decent wages, as you've been said to have indeed made that statement as of yesterday. Now, as Secretary General of the Trade Union and looking at the minimum wage, how does the 30,000 naira, the consequential adjustment, affect you at the trade union?
Thank you very much. As workers, we don't have any other source of income except our salaries. And that is why we defend the salaries of workers generally. And by implication, even the people that are retired. But 30,000 naira minimum wage is the new benchmark for workers at the lowest grade. That has been signed by government. But we are now waiting for consequential adjustments to affect the salaries of those who are already above 30,000 over time. But government has been foot dragging on this, and that has egged the anger of workers. Having waited for government to act, and they have been trying to just take us back to where we were before. For example, we requested for 66.6% to be the adjustment for salary grade level 1 to 17. But in the course of discussion and negotiation, the government says they can only afford 10% and 6.5% for grade level 1 to 14, and then 15 to 17. We say this is not possible because that is like taking us back. Remember that the last time we had minimum wage is 2011. Between 2011 and now, so much has happened. And if government has already granted 30,000, the consequential increase ordinarily by percentage would have been 66.6%. But we're not even asking for that. We say, okay, we have come down to 29% for 1 to 14 and 24% for 15 to 17. But government is now insisting that they can only pay 11.5% and 6.5%. We say this is not possible. We have sought, and we have been very patient, and we have sought the negotiating committee to meet the president so that the president can show how patriotic the workers have been over time so that we can have the president's intervention. But it did not. Having waited for so long and nothing has happened, the workers are now angry, and we have issued an ultimatum. If nothing is done by that time, we know what we will do, and the nation should await us.
Mr. Lawal, what you call foot dragging, the government says revenue shortfall, across the federal government and also the state. So what is the union doing to perhaps advise on creating more revenue to benefit all?
No, I didn't get that.
So I said that the federal government has said 45% consequential increase is a bit unrealistic. They've talked about the revenue shortfall. What is the union doing to advise on creating more revenue for everyone's benefit?
We have asked the government that let's have a meeting so that union side can be heard and provide solution on how revenue can be raised to pay the workers. But they are only concerned about politics and politicization. They are now working with what we call the workers' rights, as if we don't have any rights anymore. We are also part of this country, and the workers are the ones that lay the golden eggs. So we feel that at least if we don't have anything, we should at least have our base salaries across. But government is denying on that. But they don't deny on other issues. We know what the senators earn. We know what the House of Reps earn, which is not fair to the economy. But the workers that lay the golden eggs cannot be paid. We think this is not possible. And we are now angry. And we have decided to tell the government that do something in the next few days, or we will do something.
We'd like to thank you, Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress, Mr. Musa Lawal. Thank you for joining us on the program. Well, that's how we wrap things up on the show. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to join the conversation on our social media platforms at Channels TV, at CTV Politics, #Lunchtime Politics. I'm Millicent Walker. Have a pleasant day ahead.